Hi everyone, it's Cameron Moore, Program Manager with Million Cat Challenge. Today we're going to talk about the life-saving impact of community cat diversion. First, I want to start off with some basic community cat facts that we've learned over the years. So the majority of cats entering shelters are labeled strays. There's typically an 80-20% split between strays versus owner surrenders. We know that many people care for outdoor cats and allow their own personal pet cats to live indoor-outdoor. So therefore, we realize that most outdoor cats are not actually stray or lost. It's just that the Good Samaritan who is picking up the cat or the person who is bringing it to the shelter simply does not know who's caring for them, and so they label them as stray. In reality, though, cats know exactly where they live and what they're doing. The only thing they're not doing for themselves is sterilizing themselves, and that's where we need to step in and help them. There is a common myth that cats are brought to the shelter because they're a nuisance and people don't want them in their neighborhood. But again, when we speak to people who are bringing the cats in, we find out that the reality is we've trained them to bring these cats to the shelter. The return to owner rate for cats in shelters is less than 5% nationally, according to a study done by the ASPCA. However, in the past 3 years, I've done over 50 shelter assessments around the country, and that number is far less. A lot of the shelters that we looked at had return to owner rates for cats of less than 1%. Studies are showing that cats are up to 13 times more likely to find their way home from the street than a shelter because, again, they are not lost. They know exactly where they live. We need to leave them alone. And we know that owners are not going to the shelter to pick them up. So then we have to reconsider how we've been operating and what do we need to do a better job with these outdoor cats. We also know people are acquiring cats from the street more so than from a shelter because, again, these cats are smart. They know they're opportunists and they will have 4 and 5 different homes out there, and everyone thinks they're the sole owner when in reality the cat's just super smart and likes to get meals at different homes. There's no data that supports that trap and euthanize is an effective population control method, but we have a lot of data from all around the country that supports community cat diversion, and TNR does work and is effective. There's simultaneous goals of the community cat diversion program, and these again are the same across the board. We want to resolve citizen complaints and concerns. We want to reunite these lost cats with owners, and we've got lost in parentheses because, again, they aren't lost. They are not out there wandering around saying, someone please help me find my home. Really, they're 2 doors away from their house. They're just looking for that second breakfast. We also want to reduce the risk to wildlife and people caused by free-roaming animals, and we want to control the feline overpopulation problem. You know, in a perfect world, all cats would live inside and be sleeping on sofas and watching TV all day, but that's not our reality. And we know that for all these years of trap and euthanize, that's not worked. So we have to look at what is going to really solve the problem. And bottom line is, our goal is life-saving. But when we're speaking with elected officials or animal control agencies and shelter staff, we have to talk their language. And remember, their biggest worries are citizen complaints, nuisance control. So again, all of this will resolve itself with a community cat diversion program. There's a lot of positive impacts in the field. Number 1 being increased community immunity against rabies. So remember, our current situation is we have cats breeding out of control. Nobody has a rabies vaccination out there. So with every cat that is sterilized and returned to its outdoor home, they now have at least 1 rabies vaccination, which again, when you look at the whole population, if no one has a rabies vaccination, what are we doing to solve the problem? Nothing. There's also an overall decrease in community cats over time. And you might read studies that say that you have to sterilize a certain percentage in a colony before you make any impacts. But again, for every cat that you sterilize, you are making an impact. You're stopping that breeding cycle. You're stopping the nuisance complaints that are associated with intact cats. And you're making a difference not only for that cat, but for the people in the neighborhood where this cat lives. And with less cats, we have less risk to wildlife. We've got lower zoonotic risk of rabies and parasite transmission, so it's a win-win. There's also positive impacts in the shelter. We have increased adoption of cats that are admitted into the shelter when they aren't overwhelmed with all these outdoor cats that are needlessly brought into the shelter. So cats that would never have been adoption candidates before, maybe senior cats or shy cats or cats with medical issues, it now gives the staff more time and resources to help those cats who truly need to be in the shelter, and not just having the competition of all these outdoor cats that were doing fine where they were and people were trained to bring them into the shelter. We also virtually eliminate cat complaint calls, which again directly impacts the shelter when animal control officers are not responding to call after call of cats, yowling and fighting and mating outside someone's window. We also have more resources for dogs when you aren't inundated with cats in the shelter. So when staff isn't having to spend their entire days cleaning and feeding and medicating and ultimately euthanizing cats, they now have time for programs that they never had time for before, which will save dogs. So more on the staff. ACOs really are in existence for public safety and animal safety. So again, when you remove those cat complaint calls, because people no longer have any complaints when the cats are sterilized, you have more time to be proactive in the field and focus their efforts on really important stuff, which they didn't always have time for before. You also have a significant decrease in euthanasia, which promotes a much healthier workplace and lessens compassion fatigue. Shelter staff is happier when they aren't overwhelmed, and they can spend more time doing fun activities like play groups or bathing dogs or working with potential adopters to make the match, or even working with people considering surrendering their animals to help prevent homelessness in the first place. And of course, there's a financial impact. So when you have less overcrowding, you have less illness, therefore you're not buying as much medication, your staff isn't having to spend as much time medicating, feeding, housing, so you have decreased cost of care days. And again, you can shift existing resources to other life-saving programs such as safety net and surrender prevention and managed intake and play groups, other things that will promote happier, healthier pets in the shelter and promote more life-saving. Greenville County Animal Care is a perfect example. They originally received a $175,000 grant from Petco to start a return to field program. But what were they going to do when that money ran out? Well, within the first year of the program, they were able to decrease their cat intake by 33%. They decreased their cat euthanasia by 50%, and the director reported to her superiors and to everyone that this resulted in cost savings that was going to allow them to continue the program even after those grant funds were exhausted. Absolutely amazing and never would have happened before. Now, these next few graphs are just going to show you how this program works the same in every community. Before the community cat diversion program, you have high intake, lots of euthanasia. Here you see in May 2016, Greenville started their program, and then by November 2017, look, drastic reduction in intake and euthanasia. Jacksonville, Florida, my hometown, before we started the program in 2007 and 8, we had almost 11,000 cats euthanized in the shelter. This past fiscal year, which just ended, there were 376. Now, granted, there is always going to be some euthanasia in shelters. There's going to be medical cases that we cannot save regardless of our financial or amazing medical staff that we have. We're just not going to be able to save them. But there is a much happier staff and community when there's far fewer euthanasia. And think about the difference between 376 euthanasia and 10,700 euthanasia. Waco, Texas, same thing. They have 30% poverty rate in their town. They thought they were too poor to be able to save animals. They went from euthanizing over 2,200 cats before they started their community cat program to 111 last year. Brevard County, Florida, same thing, run by the sheriff's office. They were euthanizing 3,300 cats. So far in 2017, only 130 cats. Huntsville, Alabama. Again, major transformation. This could be anywhere USA. This program works everywhere. And so again, you have happier staff, happier community. You have more money and resources to shift to other life-saving programs. You have much fewer complaint calls, and most of these calls are not complaints. They're things that just have to be worked out, or educating the public on why TNR is effective. And especially when you have people that have said, well, I've been trapping cats and bringing them to you for 20 years. Well, holy cow, the program hasn't ever worked before, right? Because we've not ever actually done anything. So this is solving the problem so that this person can now spend their time in other productive, happier ways than just trapping cats and bringing them to the shelter. I hope you guys have enjoyed this program, and you're welcome to reach out to me anytime if there's anything I can do to help you. And I could talk community cats all day long, but we only have a short period of time, so thank you so much and have a great day.